Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a video tutorial for you on how to make these, what I call the no-cut treat bags. I put a post on my blog for Easter with one of these little ones that looked very similar to this, but it was purple polka dotty, but it had a little Easter egg on the inside. And I mentioned in my post that you didn't need any cutting or any adhesive to put these little treat pouches together, and quite a few of you were asking me for instructions on how I actually did it, and I didn't think it was something new, and I'm pretty sure they're out there in Blogland somewhere, but I will just show you, I guess, how I made mine. And I'll show you two versions. I'll show you this original one that is in my blog post, which does hold a regular size little Easter egg, but you can put other things in it. But I'll also show you another size variation, which is this one uses a 4x12 inch piece of cardstock, so you get 3 out of a standard 12x12 piece of DSP rather. And this one uses a 6x12 piece, so half a standard piece of DSP to get a little treat bag. Same sort of thing, but it fits obviously a little bigger sort of treat on the inside. But I'll start with the original one and hopefully you can follow along with what I did. So this one uses a 4x12 piece of designer series paper. I've got one here for you. You need your score tray, so I'll put this in here. Now all you're going to do is score 2 lines on the short side and 2 lines on the long side. The lines you need to score on your short side are 1 1/4 inches and 2 3/4 inches. Then you're just going to turn it 90 degrees, pop it back in there, and you're going to score at 5 1/4 inches and 6 3/4 inches. So this gives you something that's roughly about 1.5 inches square in the bottom there. So I'll remove the tray, and then all you're going to do, it's quite easy, and I'm hoping this paper you can actually see what I'm doing. I just fold along the longer edges first, longer score lines, there and there. Okay, then turn it 90 degrees and fold along the 2 little crossway ones there and there. So what you'll see you're sort of left with is this thing that's not going to quite fold in, but if you sort of pinch it a little bit, you'll see that we want sides on our box and then sort of up for our ends. How I fold these lines, there's heaps of ways to do it, but what I do is I have it with the long edge facing down the side. I fold in one of the sides, and then I put my bone folder right on the corner. Now this might be where zooming in helps. I put my bone folder right where this score line crosses here and meets up with my side. Then I put my finger on the inside and push that score line so that it runs, I don't know how well to show you, so that it runs along that outside edge there. Okay, and then on the inside, I'll push it down first. It's very hard to show you on camera. On the inside you're left with this sort of 45-degree angle that will come across. You see what I've done is I've taken this long score line here and I've met it up with that side track, and then I've just folded that 90-degree down. So then you can open that back up, do the same thing on the other side, fold it in, put your phone folder down the corner there just to get a really nice corner. As you fold it up, you'll see I'm pushing in so that that score line matches down the side here, so it's nice and square. More fingers and thumbs today, guys, sorry. And on the inside you'll see again it's another 90-degree angle. So this is the one we did first, and then we've got the second one. So you've got 2, when you have them both folded in, they're both folded in with 90-degree angles, 45-degree folds in those corners there. So you're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Fold it in, find that where those score lines meet, fold it so that that score line touches the outside edge. Do the same thing this one, fold it in. Give you a nice start to your 45-degree fold, and then totally you can't see anything there. So what you ended up with is these 2 bits. If I show you from the top now and take you out just a little bit, you've now got the fold lines and you've got the 45-degree angles, which means when you sort of fold one on top of the other and push it up, you end up with a little spot for your Easter egg or your little treat to go in, and then all you do is you join them at the top. And for the ones that I've been making, You just use a crocodile if you've still got one, or a hole punch to tie yourself a little bit of string through the top and tie a tag onto it. And once you join the top, it all stays together. So that's what I mean about no adhesive and no extra cutting. So that's how easy they are to make. You might have to watch that a couple of times, but hopefully you get the gist of how you make those ones. Now I will show you quickly then how I make it with a 6x12 piece of DSP. The principle is exactly the same. So start with a piece of 6x12. Let me just get my score tray back in here for you guys. And the measurements are slightly different. Again, though, I always start on the, I might use the reverse pattern piece to show you this time. So you're scoring, I always score on the inside, what I want to be the inside. So with the 6-inch piece across, 6-inch length across the top, you're going to score this one at 1.5 inches and 4.5 inches. Then you're going to turn it and you're going to score at 5.5 and 6.5. Now this gives you a wider but skinnier treat bag. And the principle is exactly the same though, to put it together. So fold along those long side score lines, turn it 90 degrees, fold across the shorter ones. Oops. There and there. Principle is exactly the same though, guys. You fold the side in, find where those two meet, fold that score line to the outside edge, give it a push down so you've got a 45-degree angle there. Repeat on both sides. And then turn it and do the other end in the exact same way. So that's what you end up with, guys, a little skinnier treat bag that you can pop your chocolates into. You'll see this one here, I've got a couple of little chocolate treats in here. You can take them out. You can pop them in the centre. They fold up around it. Same principle, use a hole punch or a crocodile to put some holes in the top, and then your treats stay nicely inside of that. Now, I haven't done anything super technical in working out the measurements for these treat bags. I did want to finish by just showing you the process that you can undertake to work out where you need to put your score lines, because I make mine different for depending on what treat I put inside, and you won't always have the same treats as I've got. So I wanted to sort of show you, you can use those standard measurements that I've given you for those two and then just find treats to fit, or I wanted to quickly show you how you would go about if you had something and you wanted to work out how to score your treat bag to fit it exactly, to fit whatever you've got exactly. So what I've got is I'm starting with a 6x12 piece of cardstock here, because I've got this little square soap here that I want to put in a little treat bag, and it's kind of pretty big, so I'm going to use a wider piece of sheet. And the reason why I either use 6x12 or 4x12, it's got no secret in it, guys. It's just I either get 2 out of a piece of DSP or I get 3, so that's my only rationale for starting with those measurements. So you could start with 8, you could start with whatever you wanted, but I'm just a bit of a savvy when it comes to working out how many things I can get out of one piece of paper. So with a 6x12, what I would do is I'd say, well, the center of my 6-inch side is at 3 inches. So what I want to be able to do is have my soap in the center of my treat bag. So I want to come out evenly, an even amount of measurement from that center line to fit my soap in. So I know my soap, if I measure it on my scoreboard here, comes out at about 2 1/4 inches, but I'd probably give it about 2 1/2 inches, so it's got a little bit of room in the treat bag. So I want it to be 2 1/2 inches wide, my treat bag. So 2 1/2 inches with 3 inches as the middle mark makes it 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 inches from the middle 3 line gives me 4 1/4 on this side, and 1 1/4 from the 3 line here gives me back to 1 3/4. I hope you can follow this. It's probably a bit complicated, but all I'm doing is trying to work out how to get that in the center of the width of my paper. So that gives me my 2 down lines. I know that my soap, I want 2 1/2 inches of movement. Half of 2 1/2 is 1 1/4, so I measure out 1 1/4 from the 3-inch mark one way, 1 1/4 inches from my 3-inch mark on the other way, and that gives me a centered set of score lines for my soap that way. Then when I turn my piece of paper the other way, so that along the 12 inches, I know that 6 inches is the middle line here, and I want my soap to sit in the middle of my length this way. If I measure my soap in my score tray, I know it comes out at 1.5 inches wide, so my soap's 1.5 inches, but I would probably give it 1 3/4 again, so it's got a little bit of movement there. Is 7/8 of an inch from either side of the 6 inch mark. So that would make my score lines at, let me move the soap, at 6 7/8, and coming back 7/8 of an inch from the 6 inch mark gives me 5 1/8. Okay, so that gives me my center set of score lines. Now hopefully, if we've measured that right, so that principle can be applied to anything that you've got, guys. So you don't have to stick with the measurements that I've given you. That's how I work out how big I need to make it. And for those of you that can follow my strange instructions, yeah, it's a great way to make a quick treat bag to fit exactly any size treat or chocolate or item that you've got that you want to put in a little baggie. And these no-cut bags are easy to do. So let me just do the final test to see if my calculations are right. They should be. By folding along all those lines like I did before. So if we fold it up and in, wrapping it over and over. Oops, sorry guys. My little soap should fit beautifully in there, and it does. And then all I do would be is I would just make a little hole at the top and thread some ribbon through, and I've got the perfect size treat bag for my soap. It's made to fit. Do you see it wouldn't have fitted in the chocolate one because I needed it wider than it was narrow, and it's a bit can't really see that, but it's a bit narrower this way as well. So you can use the standard measurements I've given you for these types of treat bags, the 4x12 ones or the 6x12, or just use that same principle to make any size treat bag that will fit. Hopefully you understood that, guys. If you didn't, please leave me comments either here or on my blog and let me know what you didn't understand, and I can hopefully try and explain it again. All right, enjoy that one, guys. Bye.